few figures evoke as much fascination, revulsion, and controversy as the Marquis de Sade. Born Donatien Alphonse François, he became infamous for his libertine lifestyle, scandalous writings, and unapologetic pursuit of pleasure at any cost. His name became synonymous with depravity, his works banned and burned, yet his legacy endures as a testament to the power of individual freedom and the complexities of human desire. In the opulent halls of the Château de Condé in Paris, on a balmy day in June 1740, Donatien Alphonse François came into the world. He was born into a noble family, surrounded by luxury and privilege. From an early age, Donatien exhibited a rebellious spirit and a voracious appetite for life's pleasures. His upbringing was strict, his education rigorous, but beneath the facade of aristocratic refinement, lurked a darkness that would come to define him. As he grew into a young man, Donatien's proclivities became increasingly evident. He reveled in the company of courtesans and indulged in all manner of debauchery. His insatiable desires knew no bounds, and he pursued them with a fervor that bordered on obsession. But it was his fascination with the darker aspects of human nature that set him apart. He delved into forbidden literature, exploring themes of cruelty, violence, and sexual deviance with a morbid curiosity that disturbed even those closest to him. In 1763, Donatien married Renée Pélagie de Montreuil, a union arranged by his family in hopes of curbing his excesses. But marriage did little to tame the Marquis's wild impulses. If anything, it only fueled his desire for forbidden pleasures. He embarked on a series of scandalous affairs, scandalizing polite society and earning him a reputation as a libertine of the highest order. It was during this time that Donatien began to commit his most notorious acts. He engaged in orgies, practiced flagellation, and explored the limits of human endurance in pursuit of his own gratification. His behavior shocked even his most libertine peers, and soon whispers of his exploits spread far and wide. The publication of Justine and Juliet brought the Marquis de Sade to the attention of the authorities, who viewed his writings as a threat to public decency. In 1784, he was arrested and imprisoned in the Château de Vincennes on charges of blasphemy and indecency. Thus began a long and tumultuous period of incarceration that would come to define the latter years of his life. Despite his imprisonment, the Marquis continued to write, producing some of his most provocative works behind bars. But his defiance only served to further enrage his captors, who subjected him to brutal treatment in an attempt to break his spirit. He endured beatings, solitary confinement, and even attempts to castrate him, yet still, he refused to recant his beliefs or moderate his behavior. In 1790, the Marquis de Sade was transferred to the Bastille, where he remained until the storming of the prison during the French Revolution in 1789. Freed from captivity, he briefly enjoyed a taste of freedom before being rearrested and imprisoned once again. In the years that followed, he would be shuttled between prisons and asylums, his health deteriorating as his infamy grew. But even in his darkest moments, the Marquis remained unrepentant. He continued to write, producing works that challenged the conventions of his time and laid the groundwork for future generations of artists and thinkers. His ideas would go on to inspire movements as diverse as surrealism, existentialism, and feminism, leaving an indelible mark on the cultural landscape that endures to this day. In 1814, the Marquis de Sade was released from prison for the final time, his health broken and his spirit weary. He retired to his ancestral home in Lacoste, where he spent his final years in relative obscurity, attended only by a handful of loyal followers. He died in 1814, his legacy secure but his reputation forever tarnished by the scandals that had defined his life. Today, the Marquis de Sade remains a figure of fascination and controversy, his name synonymous with the darker aspects of human nature. His works continue to provoke and disturb, challenging readers to confront their own desires and prejudices. And though he may never be fully understood, his influence endures as a reminder of the power of individual freedom and the dangers of unchecked passion.